Now, this weekend would be a special one. The excitement grew as vehicles of all shapes and sizes poured in from across Gauteng throughout the day. Some good friends of the show, some Patreon members, and some cross-country and compendium clients. Everyone was keen to get set up and get ready for a weekend of camping. It was awesome to see all the different types of setups. From ground tents to rooftop tents, we had a great variety. Cross Country Insurance hosted us with an awesome spread that left nobody wanting. It was just great to see the team cooking away and everyone enjoying a brekkie bun here and there. What a treat. I'm so grateful that Frikkie organized such an awesome spot for us here at Zalpi. So welcome to another episode of Rome Overlanding. We're actually doing the first Rome meetup, and it's all in partnership with Cross Country Insurance. So it's really awesome to meet up with some Patreon members, some cross-country members, and have, a nice camp after a long lockdown, get to see each other's rigs, what everyone's been working on over lockdown, and just get around that campfire, have a couple beers, put a bit of meat on the braai, and have a good time together. But yesterday actually, and where I want to start this episode, I sat down with Ian and Lyle from Cross Country, and they were telling me all the stories of different situations that they've had clients in. And I found the information very valuable, and I wanted to share some of those stories with you guys.
Going through the mountains, I had a bit of a problem because the car broke down. And we were absolutely stuck. This was about 3 o'clock in the afternoon. Absolutely stuck, no signal, no sat phone, no nothing. And fortunately, there was a tour behind us, and one of the guys actually did have a sat phone. We actually managed to get a hold of the local garage in Springbok. And we managed to get the vehicle towed from where we were back to Springbok that night. But what's so important is that, if you're in the middle of nowhere, you're on your own, you haven't got a sat phone, you've got no communication. We were just lucky that the guys came through that afternoon, about half an hour after we broke down. And we actually managed to get a hold of our call center, and we actually got out of that quite easily. But you have a situation where in the middle of Botswana, you break down, no communication. You'll be lucky if a car drives past one day at a time. But interesting enough, I always say, listen, if you're going on a trip like that, go with somebody. So if you always have some sort of backup in terms of, getting assistance. You could be stuck there for days. And we've had many, many instances where the guys go to Botswana, the vehicle catches fire, burns down, and fortunately they've always had somebody there as well to actually help them, get back, get the medical assistance if there's any injuries or whatever, and actually get them repatriated back home. It's just so important, again, to have the right insurance. You have got that 24-hour cover, so if there is an incident, you have got mechanical assistance, or if there's a medical emergency, we've got the evacuation. We've utilized that quite a few times. But be that as it may, we got to Springbok, we got back to Uppington, we got home quite safely, and we had a most magnificent trip, and we've got some lovely stories to tell.
I have a very interesting question for you, Ian, because something like, say for example now you're traveling with somebody, okay, and one of you breaks down. You're in somewhere where there's no signal. Now I don't have a sat phone, I don't have anything like that. I need to get in touch with you guys. What do I do in a situation like that? Because I think that is a situation where it's quite interesting. The general rule of thumb is try not leave your vehicle, try stay by your vehicle. Do you send your buddy in the car and you just give them the number that they need to contact, or do you get them to stay with the vehicle and you take their vehicle and drive into town?
If you can do that, but you might be miles away from nowhere. So it's very important that either you've got a sat phone, you can make communication, or you need to get somebody on the road where they can get a cell phone signal and actually phone the call and take it from there. So at least we know where you are, then we can make the necessary arrangements. We had some guy stuck, and it was over a weekend. There was 2 vehicles, and he said, okay, we said, just stay with your vehicle. We are going to send somebody up to actually come and assist you with a low bed trailer and get you out of there. And Van Zyl's pass is the most difficult pass. And very dangerous. So anyway, he decided, no, he's leaving his vehicle behind. He went back to Cape Town, and when our guys got there was no vehicle. The locals had taken it down the mountain and stripped it completely. There was nothing left.
So you need to try and stay with that vehicle. You need to try, and that's actually like a little practical tip for people as well, if they're kitting out their vehicles and things like that, is actually to think of having a backup tent. That if your vehicle breaks down or it's in a precarious position and you can't use your rooftop tent, you can't use your trailer, that you actually have a little backup tent, a little bag with maybe a stove, a tent, a blanket, some basic things that if you need to, you can actually set up a little camp. If you need to stay there for the night until, they can get help, or if it's maybe, 3 days or something, you need to have some basic stuff with you that if your vehicle is drowned in the Okavango, you need to have a basic setup that you can grab out your vehicle and be relatively comfortable for a bit of time. You don't want to go walking around at night or whatever. You never know when these things happen, where these things happen. You didn't even know if you're going to see somebody for a day, 2 days, 3 days. So satellite phone and a little go bag with a spare tent or something like that you can at least stay near your vehicle.
Also, if you've got emergency kit as well, that always helps. If the fan belt goes or the tire goes or something like that, you obviously need that emergency kit, which is very, very important.
Those are the places we like to travel to, these lonely places. I mean, there's such a thrill in doing that. But there is always that little thing at the back of your mind, you're wondering, what if something goes wrong? And it's not really what if something goes wrong, it's like when something goes wrong, what then? And I think that is one of those things, it's like having a satellite phone, for example, is like, it's useless until you need it. It's like having a winch. It's useless until you need it. Then when you need it, you will pay anything to have it. And that's the same thing with having good insurance. It's like, you don't want to have to pay the premiums every single month. But then when you need it and you've got paying your bottom of the rung insurance and they can't help you,
you're on your own. You're on your own. Good luck. Yeah.
And they don't know. You phone them, you're going to phone that call center and you're going to say, I'm stuck on Fun Sales Pass. First of all, they're not going to know where that is. They're not going to know about the lifestyle and what you're doing there and what type of vehicle and what the needs are for that situation. And second of all, they're not going to actually be able to help you at all. Because they're just that repatriation from wherever you are. There's not many companies out there that can touch that in terms of coming to Fun Sales Pass and picking you up from there.
So Adrian, what's important to remember is not all insurance companies have the network of providers available to them to go up Fun Sales Pass and to get a vehicle. And the limits on the policies are so small that when they send somebody to go and get you, you'll get a bill at the end of the day and you'll have to pay in. Where with cross country, they've got a network of providers that can go and get you, and they will get you out of that situation without you paying the bill at the end of the day.
And it could take you 2 or 3 days to get out of the mess. Yeah. Normally they'll get the nearest town, you got accommodation bills to pay and that sort until you get your...
Yeah, and how are you getting back? Are you going to jump on the back of the truck with your car? Or how you have to pay for airplane tickets to get back to your country?
I have a situation now, right? Now, not everyone is going to phone you guys with a broken vehicle that's going to need to be taken away. Now, you guys have this extensive network throughout Southern Africa and everything. Now, what about something that's just a fixable mechanical error? What if I've been driving in Namibia and I've blown 2 tires, I put on my second spare tire and I blow that tire as well? What then?
We've actually had that exact same situation a couple of years back in Namibia, and the client he was relatively close to Windhoek, not in town itself, but he couldn't find a rim that matched the vehicle that he was using. So we had actually, instead of saying to the client, look, your holiday is over, we're going to send the truck, bring it back to South Africa, your holiday is cancelled. We actually arranged for the guy, we said to him, book yourself into a B&B, you and your family, stay there. Tomorrow morning, someone from cross country will land in Windhoek with 2 tires and rims and fit it onto your vehicle, and you can carry on with your holiday. We paid for the flights to get the tires there. We did the fitment on the vehicle and the accommodation. Those 2 nights that he had to stay over, that his holiday was delayed basically, was part of the hospitality benefit that's automatically included in our policy.
That's something that's so valuable, because it's the little things like that you don't really think of. You think, I've got 2 spare tires, I'm good, that's my insurance policy. But these places they're really tough sometimes, and they eat vehicles, they eat 4x4s for breakfast, you know. And I'm sure you guys don't see millions of these claims, but they do happen. You know, it's not like there's a vehicle, you're bringing a vehicle back every day type of thing, but it's when it happens.
And the client's super stressed. He's super stressed. It's everybody else's problem. So, you know, we like to take that ownership and actually get it sorted out.
Well, isn't that the worst? It's the kind of worst situation. It's the worst time for something like that to happen. Is now you're on holiday, you got the kids in the car, you got the wife there, you spent all of this money, you've taken leave. Everything is relying on that time. You only have 2 weeks a year to go and do that, you know. So it's like one of those things where it's like you really don't want it to go wrong. And if it's going to go wrong, you don't want to have to be the one spending your 2-week holiday running around trying to fix all the problems, you know. And I think the thing is, you know, at the end of the day, a lot of people, they want to just get that premium as low as they possibly can. But the thing is, you guys aren't an expensive insurance company. You know what I mean? And Fricky, I'm sure you could see, as a broker, you see all of these different, you know, kind of packages and things like that.
So on all the clients that I've quoted on, cross-country comes in competitive. They are not expensive. You know, people think 4x4 cover is expensive because it's an add-on. With them, it's not an add-on. It's standard in the product. They offer 4x4 use on their policy with all these amazing overland benefits, if I can call it that. And it's not expensive. It's rated appropriately. And they insure every single item on your vehicle. Like if we take your vehicle, for example, it's a 360,000 Rand Hilux. But as it stands there, it's 800,000 Rand with all the accessories. So we insure it at the right sum insured with all the extras, and it's still a competitive quote. We are not cheap. I'm not saying it's cheap, but it is competitive.
And that's the thing, is that's all you can ask as a consumer, is that you're getting a competitive, fair price. And that is the thing, and that's what, you know, I look at it and I go, you know, tomorrow, you never know what happens. You're out on a trip, you've installed a new light bar on your car or something, and you go and something, little wire rubs there, it shorts, starts a little fire, whoop, that whole car's gone. You know, if you haven't gone and insured every single piece of equipment on that vehicle, and like you say, like my vehicle is more accessories than vehicle, you're going to be sitting there at the end of the day and you are going to be gutted.
Yeah, so Adrian, the basis of insurance is putting the client back in the same position they were in prior to their loss. So if your vehicle was insured on a normal policy and something happens to it and it's gone, it's stolen, we'll pay you retail value, 360,000 Rand. Are we putting you in the same position you were in prior to the loss? No. So we have to insure all the extras on the vehicle so you can be in the same position again.
And I think this is really what the importance of utilizing a broker is. The broker is there to look at your risk profile, and in the event of anything happening, being able to have the right cover to assist you in that. Because so often people don't go to a broker, they maybe go to a direct thing, and the direct guy said, listen, we'll offer you X, Y, Z. And of course, it really is not the right cover. And pricing is very, very important. But as long as all the boxes are ticked in terms of what you need to do, where you're going, your possible exposure, the difference between your normal policy and a specialized policy is not much. But as I said, the most important thing is when you go away, you want peace of mind. And the peace of mind is also choosing the right broker. So as long as the broker knows what he's selling you and he's selling the right product, you're in very, very good hands.
So it has been such a nice time here. It's been so good to sit around the campfire, chat with everybody, have a brandy, and just really enjoy everyone's company again. It's been so long since we've actually got to do that. And it's something that I've really, really enjoyed. It was so good to see everyone's rigs, have a nice little brekkie in the morning, learn a bit more from Fricky about cross-country and compendium. It's been a really, really cool weekend here. I think you know, what we want to maybe go and do now is get the rigs all packed up, get the camp broken down, and go and see if we can find a little bit of a 4x4 trail to go and do. Yeah, just enjoy the last little bit of time out here in the bush before we gotta get back home. So we're on the road, we're heading to a little pass that Axel recommended we try out. So we've got a small convoy, a lot of the Oaks have gone off to enjoy their Sundays with their families and everything. And we're just going for a little bit of an explore, get the wheels dirty, go into low range for a little bit. It's good fun, really good fun.
This was a great idea. Axel reckoned that a good spot to check out would be the Breed's Neck Pass. It was close to our camp at Zalpi and would be a nice bit of fun for a Sunday drive, but nothing too crazy. And considering this is actually a regional road, it's still pretty nuts. But it's good fun to see everyone's rigs in action again. It's great finding little spots like this so close to home. I never really thought places like this even existed. And the promise of an incredible view at the pinnacle was all we needed to get us going. What's so awesome about companies like Compendium and Cross Country Insurance is that they understand that we love to get out on adventures, we enjoy our vehicles, and they still give us the support we need that when something goes wrong, they're there for us. So we can just relax and have fun doing the things that we love with peace of mind. What a pleasure. This little section we all just had to give a go. The road had washed away and made the perfect little 4x4 obstacle. This may have marked the end of the trail and the weekend for us, but this will be the first of many events to come just like this one. And I cannot wait for the next one already. This was a massive amount of fun and it was just so awesome getting to meet everybody. And I think this is the type of quality connections that you end up making friends for a lifetime out of.
So now it's time for us to make our way down the mountain. Everyone's going in their separate ways, but it's been a really awesome experience. It really has. So good to meet up with everybody again, get out, flex the suspension a little bit, see everyone's vehicles that they've been working so hard on, and you know, for people to see the Hilux in person as well, and some of the cool kits and all that stuff from the videos. But that's where we're wrapping up this video. Thank you guys so much for tuning in and, you know, hearing some of the stories, and, you know, it's been really nice. And for all of you guys, you know, this is one of those things where it's all about community. Thank you for being part of this community. Thank you for watching and supporting the show and the people involved in making the show happen. I really appreciate it. Anyways, we'll catch you next week. Cheers.
Thank you so much for tuning into this episode of Roam Overlanding. I'd like to thank my awesome Patreon members for continuing to support me week after week and making all of these episodes happen. If you would like to become a Patreon member, consider clicking on the link in the description or on your screen now. Anyways, I'll catch you guys next week. Cheers.